Yes, with the mic, and then we'll go to this ma'am, and then I think we might have time for maybe one or two more. Yeah.
Hi, I'm an editor, and I was just curious what you've enjoyed about your author-editor relationship.
What I enjoy about the author-editor relationship? Well, I'm really lucky because in 1990, when the firm was in manuscript form, it was purchased by a guy named David Gernert, who was an editor at Doubleday. And David worked there for another 5 years and then became my agent, so he's still my editor. So I've had the same trusted friend for 20 years and 24 books now. So there's really nothing pleasant about the editing process. Because, I mean, you work hard, you turn in a 500-page manuscript, and before you know it, you got it right back with a lot of marks on it. And you go through it, if you're wise and if you're still serious about what you're doing, you look at every suggested edit, and you go through that process 2 or 3 times. And it's tedious, and you're very happy when it's done. But when it's over, the book is better because of that. But I'm still very lucky to have someone who's been there since the very beginning.
I too have had the same editor. She's sitting right, Jill Bylowski, and all 3 books. And I'm really chicken about showing my manuscripts to other people. She's the first person to read the manuscript, and I trust her completely. And with Stiff, Stiff was a sort of a strange book, and I just thought this humor is probably inappropriate, but I'm going to let her strip it all out. I'm going to trust her judgment. She'll be sort of the eyes, and she didn't take a lot of it out, and I think her judgment combined with my lack of judgment is why the book is a success, and it's just really a partnership. I think of it as our book, really. It's yeah, it is. Editing is it's a give and take, but it's a wonderful relationship.
Well, this is my first experience with a book of this kind, because usually the books that I wrote as an academic were things like How to Understand Soviet Nuclear Doctrine, which is kind of different kind of book. And I've very much appreciated my editor, Rick Horgan, because as you might imagine, a book about your parents and about your life is a very personal book. And what I think has worked in the relationships, a little bit what Mary was saying, is that he's allowed it to be my book, but helped me to see it through other people's eyes. And I think that's what a really good editor does. And I do have to say, I also agree with John. When I wrote my first book as an academic, a senior professor, when I was so excited that the manuscript was done and I turned it in, he said, it does keep coming back like a bad penny in various ways. And that is true. It does come back in different versions. But I felt that through the process, it's gotten better, and I can't ask any more than that.
Right. And I'm looking forward to meeting mine. All right.
He's too quick. He's too quick.
Sir.
He's quick.
Yeah, you.
When your agent has your manuscript and he's going to give it out to somebody to read, have their opinion expressed on it, he gives it to 4 or 5 people to read it. Do you always like what comes back from them? Do you think?
Does your agent give your stuff away to people that just read?
The question is, once the agent reads the book and he shares it with 4 or 5 people in the office, and then you get all this feedback?
Then you hear their feedback. How do you respond to some of their feedback?
Are you familiar with who you're talking to? You think Grisham's emailing like 4 dudes in the agent's office? He's Grisham.
I'm not Grisham.
He's got a robot to do that.
You're high profile. I'm not. When this stuff comes back, it's given other people to read, and they bring their opinion back to you, and they haven't got your point, but they like your book, though. But they haven't got the point, though, but they still want to buy it. How do you get around that? I don't know.
I don't understand.
Well, let me tell you how it works in my house, okay? When I finish, hang on. when I finish the
behind
book,
the fern if you need it.
my wife reads it first, and that's a pretty crucial step. I get a lot of feedback there, a lot of feedback. If I survive that, I'll make most of the changes she suggests, and I send it off to my agent, David Gurner. I'm not sure anybody else in David's office reads it. We've been doing this now for a lot of books. And then at some point, when David and I finish with the book, we'll send it to Doubleday. Now, along the process, and again, I've had these loyal people for a long time, including my wife, I guess. And the rules have always been this: along the way with the editors and the publishers, you can say anything. It's all fair game. I don't care. You can criticize. If you have a problem with it, let's talk about it now. I think a lot of big writers reach a point to where they get lazy. They turn the book in. They say, "There it is. I don't want to edit. I'm tired of it." And you can tell it when the book is published. It's not always easy getting a lot of opinions, on something you worked hard on, but it's like editing. It's like outlining before you start. It's not any fun, but the more you do, the better the book's going to be and the easier the book's going to be to write.
Writing is rewriting. Last question.
This one's actually for you, Mr. Stewart. Our 8th grade daughter, a civics class, uses your book as a textbook.
Okay. I've got some bad news for them.
But that's not my question. And it sounds like Earth might be, for the science curriculum at some point. So I actually have 2 questions. The first is, your next book, if you're shopping it, my husband has a little educational publishing business in New Jersey. So we've got some good diners we can take you to.
Absolutely.
So just keep it in mind. But really what I want to know is, what are you going to do with your leadership with this new generation? You're metaphorically at least bigger than Rush Limbaugh with these kids.
Well, I hope to take them off a cliff. If they're dopey enough to follow, I'm dumb enough to jump. Again, one of the things that separates, I think, satirists from the new sort of demagogue pundit is satirists believe that their role is to filter whatever their views are through the comedy that they're creating, not to bring about change through positive work. I have great respect for people that work for their beliefs to change and things like that, but what we do through our work is very specific. And the way I feel is satirists have been doing this for thousands of years. We're not the ones who moved out of the box. The news and pundits and demagogues have started moving towards us. So I think we'll continue to do what we do and enjoy our lack of responsibility. I want to thank everybody, especially our authors, Mary Roach, Jon Grisham, Dr. Condoleezza Rice, and I want to thank all of you for your warm and gracious welcome. I hope you had a nice breakfast. Please feel free to take the bucket.